Woohoo! Hello, everybody. It's Amy Rich with amyrich.net. I have been waiting a whole year to be back with you for the 12 Projects of Christmas, and I'm super excited about it. And we are starting with a beautiful, sweet collection from our JD 22 mini catalog. That would be the July to December 2022 mini catalog. And we are working with a mega suite today, which means it's got 2 stamp sets and 2 sets of dies. And you can see all of the pretty things. And I'm going to tell you right now that I was not going to get the stamp sets or the dies, just the papers. And you know how that ended, because here I am. Let's take a peek at the suite in our catalog, which is on page 31. It's got a beautiful layout with some gorgeous samples here on page 30, but here it shows the mega suite. So I've already shown you the stamp sets and the dies. The ribbon is to die for, and we will be working with that a little bit today. And then we've got these gorgeous festive pearls, and I have bought like a dozen packs of them already because they're so versatile, and they come in red, green, gold, and silver. And then we've got just some fantastic papers here that I'm going to show you as well. So let's bring those out. Here's the Lights Aglow Specialty DSP Designer Series paper. You can see all of the designs have a gold foil on one side and matte on the other side. And you can see the colors that represent this paper down here at the bottom. And I love the gold foil. We are going to be doing a black and gold and vanilla card today. And I think those are absolutely perfect colors. So these 3 right here. And it's going to be a great way to kick off the 12 Projects of Christmas 2022. You saw some other specialty paper, and that would be this. It's got a foil sheen to it, but it's tone on tone, which I really appreciate. It is gorgeous. I've used almost all of the soft succulent that I had, but the rest are gorgeous as well. And then the other is a pack of glimmer paper. Holy buckets, does that shimmer and shine. We're going to use some of the gold. And then here's the evergreen and some vanilla as well. So just absolutely beautiful papers. Now, let me bring that catalog back in and show you that you can order the entire suite all with one order number. And you can do that right here. 159556 is the order number. And the whole suite for $147.75 means all you have to do is add a pack of Stampin' Dimensionals, and you've got yourself enough for a party all by yourself. You get host credit then, all on your own. Without further ado, we need to get started. I love fun folds. Many of you know that because you've watched me before. And so I would be remiss if I did not start the 12 Projects of Christmas 2022 with a fun fold. So here we've got a piece of very vanilla cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and then it is scored in half at 4 1/4. So what you see here is a square. I'm going to quickly show you another bundle that I will be using later on in the 12 Projects of Christmas, but I love the punch. This is called the Handmade Tag Punch. So we're going to use that today. I love its shape. It's so pretty. And we're going to take the open side and put that on my left here. And then put the punch all the way in. And then have the left side lining up almost with the edge of the punch. And we're going to punch that out through both layers. Now, I wouldn't suggest doing 2 layers on a regular piece of cardstock. The vanilla and the basic white are a little bit thinner so that you're able to do that. We are going to decorate this next. We're going to open that up and we're going to do some embossing. And so I've got a couple of the snowflakes from the Christmas Lights stamp set. And I'm going to grab a Versamark ink pad and prepare for a little embossing by getting out this fun embossing tray and embossing buddy, and even a tweezers. It also comes with a brush for easy cleanup. So I'm going to get that ready to go along with my gold embossing powder. So we're going to start by being very careful. You can see a lot of rubber on these edges. So I'm going to be very careful to ink up lightly. And I'm going to stamp these just in a couple places on the inside of my card. And I'm trying not to press too hard so that I don't have those edges show up. Now we'll bring in our tray and we'll cover that Versamark with our gold embossing powder. And check that out. Worked out pretty well. And if I need to go back in and get some more, I just scoop it. And I forgot to use my embossing buddy. Does anybody else ever do that? Doggone it. The embossing buddy takes all those little powders away so that they don't stick to where you don't want it to. And then I forget to use it. I know I'm not alone in that. I'm going to leave my powder right in the tray for use a little bit later on. Then it's time to bring in my heat tool and heat those snowflakes until they shine. Fun little accessories on the inside. And now we're going to bring in a piece of basic black. Let me shut this down so I don't get that in places I don't want it. A piece of basic black that measures 4 1/4 by 5 3/4, and then it is scored right here at 5 1/2. So it's just a 1/4 inch left, and I want to make sure it's got a nice crease. So I'm going to take my bone folder to that, and then I am going to add a really strong adhesive, and in this case I am using our multi-purpose liquid glue. And then I'm going to take my vanilla piece, and the end of that is going to go on that glued edge. And then I just want to make sure all of my paper lines up with the edges so that we're not hanging out where I don't want to be. Okay, so what we're going to have here then is just this hinge to hold that all together. It's kind of a long piece when you open it up. Okay, so that is the inside of our card. And now we're going to bring in a piece that measures 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2 inches. So we're going to fold that over. And again, we want to make sure it's got a nice crisp crease. And we're going to put that on the left, this shorter section on the left-hand side, just like this. Okay, so you can see how this is going to kind of start to come together. And we want to stick this side to this piece here. So what we're going to do is take our liquid glue and get that all over there. Tuck this short side under, and then bring the other side together with that vanilla, so that what we get is that on the inside. Okay, liquid glue is nice because you can kind of move it around until it is exactly where you want it to be. All right, then we're going to open this up, and we want to punch this hole out of the front black. So it's really nice that we have it adhered so that we can see where that punch goes. So I'm going to bring in the punch again, And it should go all the way in and line up. Look how beautifully that lines up. So we're going to punch that out so that we've got a hole here. And then we're going to add this beautiful piece of the Designer Series paper in the suite. And this is going to leave just a little border of black around. And so what I'm going to do is add my liquid glue again, being careful not to get too close to those borders. Because remember, we're going to leave that. We don't want it all gluey around here. So we're going to add that piece of DSP. And then you guessed it, one more time. Look at the other side. It's so pretty too. We're going to put our punch in and continue the pattern of making a tunnel basically all the way through the card until the back. All right, so here's how the front looks. It's so pretty already. Then we're gonna take this 2 3/4 inch square of vanilla and bring in our grid paper. This time I'm gonna grab the big snowflake in that Christmas Lights stamp set, and I'm gonna ink it up in Memento ink. Tuxedo Black. And then I am just going to do my best to stamp it in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so there is my snowflake, very pretty. And then we are actually going to tuck this in so that it gets centered in that hole here. So we want that all the way to that back panel. We're going to add some liquid glue. Again, it's nice that it's able to shift a little bit when you do it that way. To the back panel. And then we can scooch it to where we want it. That looks pretty good. Ooh, cool. Okay, so let's decorate the front. I'm going to grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to move all of this out of the way, and we're going to raise you up just a little bit so we can get this in here. I'm going to use that gold glimmer paper. And of course we need platform 1, platform 2, and then look at how messy my cutting plate is, but it does the job. Then we're going to bring in these dies, and we want these two right here. So we're going to cut out the Christmas tree and then add some detail in the tree. So I've already cut one of these out for my sample, so now I'm going to flip it the other way so I don't waste very much of this beautiful glimmer paper. We're going to center that detailed image in the tree, and then carefully putting our cutting plate on, we are going to crank this through. And because of the detail, I'm going to come back the other way again. And when you bring it back here now, there are going to be all these little pieces that aren't cut out, more than likely. So I'm going to bring in my foam mat, and I have the old brush, but there is an attachment. I don't need this outer one, I guess. There is an attachment to our Take Your Pick tool that you can use in the same way. But I'm just going to try to get as many of those little pieces out. See how they all came out of there? All right, so then you've got some detail in your tree. It's hard to tell with that glimmer, but I cut one out of Very Vanilla. So we're going to flip this over, add a little bit of glue. I'm using quite a bit of multi-purpose glue rather than other glues for this project. And then we're going to attach that to the vanilla one so that those vanilla holes show through. Now this, I did not use the detailed die for that one, just the outline die for the vanilla one. All right. And then I also cut out, there's a teeny little tree topper. And so we're going to add that to the top of the tree as well. Okay, so pretty. Then we're going to bring in our card again and some of that gorgeous vanilla and gold ribbon I was telling you about. Now it's time for my Stampin' Seal. I'm just going to add a few strips of that to the center of this side, and then I'm just going to loop my ribbon back and forth like so, and then I'll trim this down a little bit at the end. And now with some Stampin' Dimensionals, I will pop this up right over the ribbon like this. Oh my goodness, so gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. And then out of the Labels Aglow dies, let me just bring this back into play here. I am going to stamp Merry Christmas in black ink. So elegant looking with this black, gold, and vanilla. And then we're going to layer this right here. So what you'll notice is this is already popped up on the tree. So just regular adhesive over here and a couple of dimensionals. So if I see where it's going to go, I can put a couple dimensionals down. That way I'm not getting those dimensionals inside the hole here. I certainly don't want to tape that shut. Okay, oh my goodness, looking very pretty. We're going to add a gold pearl to the middle of this snowflake here, the large one. Beautiful, but now look, when we open it, look what happens. Oh my goodness. And you know what? We can't have that pearl in there yet. That's got to go on last, and you'll see why. All right, so we're going to open this up, and you can see that peekaboo now. We're going to grab the stamp that says, wishing you a season of hope and light. These sentiments come from Brightest Aglow stamp set, which is part of this sweet collection. And we're going to ink that in Versamark ink. And we're going to stamp that, if I'm lucky. I could use the Stamparatus, couldn't I? Stamp that right in the middle. Okay, I think I did it. And then we're going to open this up, because remember, it's all kind of loosey-goosey there. And then we're just going to scoop up our powder. And don't even mention that I didn't use my Embossing Buddy again. I try not to use Embossing Buddy on black, because then it leaves a powdery residue on the black paper. And now once again, we will heat this up until it shines. Has it been a while since you've embossed? I know that I go in spurts with that, and I haven't embossed in a while, but now I'm going to tuck that back in. So when we bring it back to the front now and we open this up, peekaboo, wishing you a season of hope and light. And now we can add our pearl. See, I wasn't able to add it before because we had to stamp that and it needed to be flat. So add your accessories last, I guess, is the best advice. So there we go. This great peekaboo slide card is so much fun, and I hope you see that it's maybe easier than you think it is. I hope you are excited to try one like it. Thank you for joining me for the first in the 12 projects of Christmas. I look forward to sharing project number 2 very soon. See you then.